Hare Krishna. So, welcome back in our series of Birth of Creator based on Krishna book. Today we'll read chapter 2, and yesterday we read how the Mother Earth took form of a cow and went to Brahmaji for help, and Brahma and Lord Krishna manifested himself in or sent message to Brahma's heart instead of giving him light darshan. He sent message, and the message was sent to demigods that Krishna will be appearing soon on this earth to relieve them of their pains. And so we'll continue that forward, and everyone on the call and everyone watching this channel, we request you to buy Krishna book and then go through and read. This is the Krishna book. Please buy from your nearest ISKCON center, and then you can read the chapters ahead. And then if you have any question, you can post them online and try to answer your questions. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhiraye. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the birth of the great Leela Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Krishna ki Jai. Okay, so we are at chapter 2 today. So yesterday many of our myths were cleared that they are not myths, they are the reality, they are the pastimes of Krishna. When we perform some activities, they become our time pass. But when these activities are performed by Krishna, they are called his pastimes, Krishna's Leelas. So let's enter into yet another beautiful Leela of Krishna. So chapter 2 is prayer by the demigods for Lord Krishna and the home. Okay, so Aditi will start with the first paragraph. So we'll not read through all the paragraphs, we'll read just first paragraph of each page so that we can cover the chapter, we can understand the gist, and then later you can read the whole chapter.
Hare Krishna. King Kamsa not only occupied the kingdoms of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties and the kingdom of Surashina, but he also made alliances with all the other demonic kings as follows: the demon Pralambha, demon Baka, demon Chanura, demon Tranavrata, demon Aghasura, demon Mustika, demon Aristha, demon Dvivida, demon Putna, demon Kesi, and demon Denuka. At that time, Jarasandha was the king of Magadha province, known at present as Bihar state. Thus, by his diplomatic policy, Kamsa consolidated the most powerful kingdom of his time under the protection of Jarasandha. He made further alliances with such kings as Banasura and Bhaumasura until he was the strongest. Then he began to behave most infamously toward the Yadu dynasty into which Krishna was to take his birth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here we have to understand first that in this world, when we study, when we do further studies, or when we do some job, so what is the basic reason behind that? The basic reason is to become more and more wealthier. Like to children also, parents say that if you study nicely, if you work nicely, you will have more money, you will have a bigger house, bigger car, then you will be happy. Now here you see what King Kamsa doesn't have. Where does he lack? He has all the power in the world. He has so many kingdoms under his belt. Then he has the most famous of demons, because the what you want you get that. Lord Krishna says, "Ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathami bhajamiham." So Lord Krishna says, whatever you wish for, you desire for, you get that. So he didn't wanted company of the sadhus, the devotees, the saints. He wanted company of the demons. So the most strongest, the powerful demons, you name it, and he had it. Correct. So all by his diplomacy, by his policies, by his smartness, that we say, oh, that person is so smart, he can influence anyone. But here we see that he has become the strongest. He has everything. But does he have the basic need of life? What is the basic need of life? The basic need of life is happiness, the peace of mind. But as we will read through this chapter, Kansa doesn't have peace of mind. So here, the thing which we need to understand is whether we have a lot of power, a lot of fame, a lot of beauty, or whatever, you name it and you have it, but if it lacks Krishna consciousness, if it lacks love for Godhead, then it's useless. Because he cannot fight. If you are wealthiest of wealthy, if you are very beautiful, if you have all the money in the world, but still one thing you cannot fight, and that is time. The 1 minute, the 1 second of time which has passed cannot be brought back by spending the whole money of the whole world. Right? So that he cannot fight, and that's why Kamsa was acquiring so much of wealth, because he wanted to fight with Krishna, and Krishna is time himself. And somewhere, being a demon, whether you're a demon or a devta, everybody knows the person who has taken birth in this world has to die. So, but he knew by the loudspeaker of Krishna. See, the principal's loudspeaker has jurisdiction of his area, of his ground, of his school. But since this whole earth comes under jurisdiction of Krishna, so by the loudspeaker of Krishna, by mercy of Krishna, Kamsa get to know that his own sister will give birth to a child who will be the reason for his death. So he became very inimical towards the Yadu dynasty. So we need to understand through these chapters by the pastimes of Krishna that to become something great, to desire to acquire money, wealth in this world, it's okay to a certain limit, but unless and until we are devoted to Krishna, unless and until we want to acquire the love of Godhead, we want to surrender to Krishna's lotus feet, all these things will lead only to anxiety and not to happiness, which is the main purpose of this material, of this body which we have got. That too by mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna could have made us cow, dog, elephant, some insect here, there, right? So every living entity has soul, and that soul is of same size. It's not that elephant has a big soul, you have a small soul, and the ant has a tiny soul. No, we read in Bhagavad Gita that the soul is, what is the size of the soul? Aditi, do you remember? What is the size of the soul we read in?
The tip of your hair.
Yes, 1/10,000 part of the tip of one hair. We cannot even find one hair and hold it properly, and that is at that to the tip, and 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair is the size of the soul. So we should prepare ourselves for the peace, for the nutrition for that soul, not for the nutrition of this body, and should not run after and should not hanker after after our senses. Okay, so here the first chapter we read that how much power and wealth Kansa acquired, but still he was not happy because he knew that his death is arriving soon. Yes, and then when Kamsa was killing the 6 babies of Devki and Vasudev one after another, it's not that nobody stopped him. Many friends and relatives tried to approach him and asked him to discontinue this activity. But actually, what happens? They got affected by power and position of Kamsa, and they all became well wishers. Earlier, they came to stop him, but later in this material world also we have seen by the what happens, what we do, by we get influenced by someone's power, by someone's beauty, by someone's influence on other people, and we just try to follow that person. But here Srila Prabhupada is guiding us that we should not be bewildered by this momentary power position of other people. We should only be attracted to the lotus feet of the Lord. And where are the lotus feet of the Lord? Lotus feet of the Lord are in beautiful Vrindavan. Here also in Krishna book, Krishna says to Yog Maya, one of his internal potency, and then Krishna says to Yog Maya that you go to that land which is very beautiful, always decorated with trees, with love of Godhead, and then there are many cows. So their cows get shelter. So this shows how much Krishna loves cows, right? So here, when Devki became pregnant for 7 times, so a plenary portion of Krishna known as Ananta appeared within her womb. And now Devki was jubilant, very happy, but she was lamenting also. Why? Because by her internal senses, by her feeling, she could make out that Lord has arrived in her womb. But then she was sad also. She was lamenting because she knew Kansa would kill him. So, she knew that Kamsa would kill that child also. So now, at that time, because Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, he resides in everyone's heart and he is compassionate towards everyone and especially among the yadus. So now, what Krishna did, he ordered Yogmaya, his internal potency, to transfer Lord Ananta, who is in the womb of Devki, and to attract him to the womb of Mother Rohini, who was staying with Yashoda Maya and Nanda Maharaj at that time. So now you say the science is so much advanced, Mataji. So now we can do heart transplant. We can do so. See, that time the Krishna's science is much more advanced than our tiny mini brain science. So the as it is, the womb was attracted to Mother Rohini, and that too without any scissors or without any without any instruments or medical equipments. That was done so perfectly that not even the most of the gyanis, the scholars cannot even understand this beautiful transplant, right? So this way we have to understand the supremacy of Krishna, the power of Krishna, that just by the blink of his eye he can set things right. But because he wants to give that credit to his devotees, so he takes a backseat. Like for Mahabharata, the youth of Kurukshetra, Krishna could have devoured all the demons. Krishna could have finished all the 18 Akshayani Senas just by the blink of his eye. But then he wanted Arjuna to get the fame. He wanted his devotee to get the fame. That's why he told Arjuna 11th chapter, Tasmat Tvam Uttishta Yasho Labhasva. That match is fixed. I have paid to referee. Everything is done. Even if you are out, he's not going to give out. Our team is going to win on you. So you just get up, pick up your Gandhi, and just you start throwing arrows at the enemy. So you will be victorious, because those who follow religion, those who follow discipline, and those who follow the rules set by the Lord and sent to us by Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, those who follow that, they are actually successful. Not the persons who try to gain and lord over this material energy by whims, just by their own tiny mini brains, whims, and psychologies, right? So, what Krishna informed Yogamaya that at present moment, my plenary expansion Shesha is within the womb of Devaki. So you can arrange the transfer of Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And then after this, what will happen? Krishna will personally appear in the womb of Devaki with his full potencies. Right? And then he ordered Yogamaya that you shall appear as daughter of Nand and Yashoda in Vrindavan. Right? So here Krishna is explaining that Yogamaya is none other than Devi Durga. So he says your name will be Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Chandika, Krishna, Maya, Narayani, Shani, Sharada, and Ambika. So there will be different names, and you will be worshipped with valuable presentations like incense, sticks, or lamps, and different kind of sacrifices. So here Srila Prabhupada explains that powerful and the power. So power is always subordinate to the powerful. So powerful is who's powerful is Krishna, and Durga is the supreme power within the material world. Within the material world, inside the material world, she is the superpower. But then if we want to go back to Godhead, to Golok Vrindavan Dham, which is our actual home, where we will get actual peace. So there we have to worship the powerful Krishna. Right? So here we understand that Krishna is the most powerful, and he plans and he arranges things so that his pastimes become more attractive and more pleasure giving to the devotees. Non-devotees don't understand. They will say, oh, this is made, this cannot be possible. But the devotees, they understand and they know that this is the purpose of Lord's different activities, and they relish those activities of the Lord. Right? So when Yogamaya transferred the Lord Shesha from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, so then everybody was under Yogamaya's spell. So they thought Devaki had a miscarriage, right? So after that, what happens? So this is a very interesting part, and this will clear off many myths of the people. So I would like one of you to read. Hiteshri, Hare Krishna, you would like to read from there after this arrangement?
Yes, I will read. Hare Krishna, teacher.
Hare Krishna.
After this arrangement, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is always ready to protect his unalloyed devotees, entered within the mind of Vasudeva as the Lord of the whole creation, with full of inconceivable potencies. It is understood in this connection that Lord Krishna, first of all, situated himself in the unalloyed heart of Vasudeva and was then transferred to the heart of Devaki. He was not put into the womb of Devaki by seminal discharge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable potency, can appear in any way. It is not necessary for him to appear in the ordinary way, by seminal injection within the womb of a woman.
So this is a very common doubt which appear inside each and every living entity, that sometimes we hear and we read this all kind of nonsense jokes in WhatsApp that okay, if he knew that the eighth son is going to kill him, he could have kept them in different cells. Why he put them in same cell? So here the answer to their question is given very specifically by Srila Prabhupada, that by his inconceivable potency, Krishna can appear anywhere, anytime, and in whichever form he likes. There's no need to for a seminal discharge within the womb of a woman for Krishna to appear, right? So here our Shastras very clearly state that it is understood in this connection that Lord Krishna first of all situated himself in the unalloyed heart of Vasudeva. Unalloyed heart, right? So first of all, we have to develop that characteristic so that we can receive Krishna in our heart. That's why it's a small attempt by starting reading Krishna book before Janmashtami, so that we can prepare our mind and heart by thinking about Krishna every time, right? So that we can prepare our mind and our heart, we can make it pure, so that in that pure land, in that clean land, Krishna can appear. Yes. So what Krishna did, he situated himself first in the heart of Vasudeva. Why in the heart of Vasudeva first? Because Vasudeva was a great devotee of the Lord and he was free from all material anxieties and desires. That's why in chapter 1, what we read yesterday, he was able to convince Kansa not to kill Dev. In the conditions which were not favorable, in those unfavorable conditions, he could think fast and with his faith in Lord, that if the Lord's prophecy has announced that eighth son of Devaki will kill Kamsa, that Devaki has to live. Right? Devaki has to live to give birth to eighth son. So he was very much convinced that I will have eight sons in this birth because eighth son is going to kill Kamsa. So he could think that way and he could convince Kansa. Yes. So then, when Lord Krishna situated himself in the heart of Vasudeva, then from there he transferred himself to the heart of Devaki. You know why? Because in the womb of Devaki, first who came? First Balramji came. And Balramji is who? Balramji is Guru Tattva. So that's why they say without mercy of Guru, we cannot approach Krishna. And without Krishna's mercy, we cannot find Guru. Right? So here it is said that first Guru came. So Guru came and helped Devaki to check the last trace of lust, anger, greed in Devaki's heart. He cleared it of it. And then came Vasudeva himself. Yes. So these things we have to be very clear so that we can tell everyone that this is not a myth. This is not anyone's creation. It's Lord's creation. It's a description of inconceivable potency of the Lord. Right. So when so here in the next few paragraphs, it's written how when Vasudeva was sustaining the form of Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. His whole face, his body was glowing like sun. And the glow was such that a normal man cannot take it. So here it is, you have to understand that Krishna takes form in various ways. And when in Mahabharata we read that when Krishna went as Shanti Dut, as a messenger of peace to Duryodhana, there also he showed his universal form. But just by the glare of that universal form, nobody could recognize who he is. Only his devotees, Bhishma Pitama, Vidura, only they could understand that form of the Lord and pay obeisance. Others were just covering their eyes, hiding, because the glare was so much they couldn't take it. So Krishna says, I am impartial to everyone, but then those who are inimical towards me or those who don't want to accept me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I just make their faith stronger in that direction. So they have to understand that if they don't believe in Krishna, that faith also is getting strengthened by um, Krishna only, not by their own some power. So they don't have anything, right? See, even we don't have control over our hands. This finger today is working. If somebody gets paralyzed, they don't have control over their own finger, their own body, right? So what to control of our mind and of our destiny? So wherever Krishna appears, when we chant Krishna's name, that place turns into Dham. And Dhama is very beautiful because there Krishna himself gets situated. So when the same Supreme Personality of Godhead entered the body of Devaki, she also started glowing. And the glow was such, but because she was inside the jail, that glow was unknown to the outer people. But Kamsa could see her. Kamsa used to come and visit her, right? So Kamsa could see her and he could make out that something is different with Devaki now. She has not gone for facial, she is in the jail. She is not going for morning walk, she's in the jail, she's in captivity. She is not eating something different which Kamsa doesn't know because she is under his jurisdiction in his prison only, right? But the glow in her face, that's why even if we are materially impoverished, if suppose we don't get success as much as we think or we should get because of our endeavor, still then the glow on our face, the faith in our head should not go down, because that that faith only attracts Krishna's mercy. Endeavor is okay, we have to become something in this world to survive, that is okay, but that endeavor, when sanctioned by the mercy of the Lord, only gets fructified. Only then we get the mercy of the Lord, and then we become successful. So it's up to us. We want to become successful materially or we want to become successful spiritually. So because for everything we see reward. What will be the reward? So reward is eternal happiness, after which we all are hankering for. The happiness and the peace of the mind we will receive after, when we study about Krishna, when we read about Krishna, when we hear Kirtana, when we sing Kirtana, and when we tell others about this beautiful pastime of Krishna, then the happiness which we feel inside our heart should be experienced by others in our lives. And that will come only by our faith and our surrender to Krishna. Right? So here, so we'll read this paragraph, that how Kansa was in anxiety. So in first paragraph we read he acquired so much of wealth and power by accumulating and by forcefully making others to come under his jurisdiction, under his kingdom. All the demons were with him. Still he was anxious. And the devotees, they don't have anything. They just hold on tight to Krishna's lotus feet and they are anxiety free. They are fearless. Yesterday we did, right? That we have to be fearless. Krishna consciousness makes us fearless because we know 24/7 somebody is protecting us. And here with Kansa, it's just opposite, because he knows 24/7 somebody is preparing to kill him. Correct? So we'll read this paragraph just fast. Anyone? Aditi? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kamsa, however, saw the transcendental beauty of his sister Devaki, and he at once concluded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead had taken shelter in her womb. She had never before looked so wonderfully beautiful. He could distinctly understand that there was something wonderful within the womb of Devaki. In this way, Kamsa became perturbed because he was sure that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who would kill him in the future, had now come. Kamsa began to think, what is to be done with Devaki? Surely she has Vishnu or Krishna within her womb. So it is certain that Krishna has come to execute the mission of the demigods. And even if I immediately kill Devaki, his mission cannot be frustrated. Kamsa knew very well that no one can frustrate the purpose of Vishnu. Any intelligent man can understand that the laws of God cannot be violated. His purpose will be served in spite of all impediments offered by the demons. Kamsa thought, if I kill Devki at the present moment, Vishnu will enforce his supreme will more vehemently. To kill Devki just now would be a most abominable act. No one desires to kill his reputation, even in an awkward situation. If I kill
Okay, wait 1 second. Huh? Then from here now Kansa is deliberating whether I should kill or not. But he's thinking if I kill her, my reputation will go. And in this material world, people are after their reputation. Like anything can happen, but their reputation should not go down. So that's why Kansa is thinking, okay, I will wait patiently for the delivery of the child. Because being a demon also, he knew that he cannot nullify the plans of the God. So we as devotees should know that the plans of the God are the most wonderful things in this world. We may run after one rose flower that I want this is very nice. And Krishna is not giving it. We are running and the rose is moving ahead. Then we think, we stop endeavoring. We think, oh, Krishna is not allowing me to get it. Okay, fine. I will stop endeavoring. But then, my dear Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas, we should be ready to accept the order of the Lord. Maybe behind the back, he is holding the whole bouquet of roses. But that he will give you at the correct moment, at the time. For Devki also, the 6 sons were killed in front of her. You know who were the 6 sons? Lust, anger, greed. These were the 6 sons. So until and unless Devki was freed of all these material hankerings and desires, Krishna didn't give direct darshan to her. Right? So similarly, we have to wait for the opportune moment. So here you can continue from here, Aditi, thus being merged.
thus being merged in the ocean of animosity against the personality of Godhead, he began to think of Krishna or Vishnu while sitting, while sleeping, while walking, while eating, while working, in all the situations of his life. His mind became so much absorbed with the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that indirectly he could see only Krishna or Vishnu around him. Unfortunately, although his mind was so absorbed in the thought of Vishnu, he is not recognized as a devotee because he was thinking of Krishna as an enemy. The state of mind of a great devotee is also to be always absorbed in Krishna, but a devotee thinks of him favorably, not unfavorably. To think of Krishna favorably in Krishna consciousness, but to think of Krishna unfavorably is not Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we tell you to think of Krishna all the time, right? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, खाइते शुते यथा तथा नामलया काल देश नियम nahi sarva siddhihaya. That while sleeping, while waking up, while sitting, while talking, while walking, every time what you should do, you should remember Krishna and absorbed in thought of Krishna, but favorably. Sarva siddhi hoya. That time we achieve all the success in the world. If you become spiritually advanced, then material success comes as a byproduct. This is the verdict of Bhagavad. But unfortunately, what happens? We, in this material world, bound by our material desires, we always hanker after our mind's directions, our senses' directions, which are nothing but just take us away from Krishna consciousness. And we think whenever we are successful, it's my success. When we are not successful, it's because Krishna is not favorable to me. So instead of thinking Krishna that way, we should always think of Krishna favorably. That every situation we have been put into is by mercy of the Lord. Because He is putting us in situation and He only is taking us out from that. So what we have to do in between, we have to just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Hitashri, the next paragraph.
At this time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narada and followed by many other demigods, invisibly appeared in the house of Kamsa. They began to pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in select verses, which are very pleasing to the devotees and which award fulfillment to their desires. The first word they spoke acclaimed that the Lord is true to his vow. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna descends to this material world just to protect the pious and destroy the impious. That is his vow. The demigods could understand that the Lord had taken his residence within the womb of Devaki to fulfill his vow, and they were very glad that the Lord was appearing in order to fulfill his mission.
Yeah. So what's Lord mission? Lord mission is to not to annihilate the demons. Lord mission is to protect his devotees, is to give pleasure to his devotees. So that's why Krishna's pastimes are so sweet. I think this we are reading the second or third time together. Then also each and every word of Acharyas appeal to us. They look like new. If you read any mundane material world novel or something, one time you read, next time you read, oh, we know what is going to happen next, or we know what is there. But these books written with so much of pain and with so much of dedication and love for Krishna, that each and every word, as the name Krishna attracts us, the same way the words written for to glorify him, those words attract our heart, right? So that's why the Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, when they came to pray to Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has taken residence in Devaki's womb, and even the great sages like Narada, they all came. So they were very happy because they know that Krishna will keep his vow and Krishna will relieve Mother Earth of the burden of the cruel kings. Right? So this one is, then the demigods address the Lord as Satyam Param. The demigods give information that the Supreme Absolute One who becomes fully Krishna conscious can attain the absolute truth. So here we have to understand that in the material world, everything is being controlled by the supreme power. So it's past, present, and future. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna tells Arjuna that there was no time when you were not there and there will be no time when I will not be there. But then, because of my Yogmaya potency, you forget, but I remember. Right? So I remember all the births, but you forget. So Krishna is so merciful there, and then Krishna is Satyam Param. Before the creation of this Mother Earth or this universe, Krishna was there. Now Krishna is there, and after the annihilation of this universe, Krishna will still be there because he is the root cause of this creation. He is the source of this creation. So, and the source is the absolute truth, the complete whole. From that complete whole, we, the living entity, emanates. The different universes emanates, but that doesn't mean that complete whole has holes in it because from that everybody is emanating. No, that complete whole remains complete. That is the wonderful science of Krishna consciousness. That is the wonderful mercy of Krishna, that being so opulent, being so complete, being Atmaram, being fully satisfied in himself, he takes birth in this material world. He incarnates, he comes in this material world for the pleasure of his devotees. Right? So, then here it is, the material world is composed of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. This we all know. And all the scientists know. But then they don't want to know the source of it. Everything is there, but everything has a source, right? We say, okay, okay, if crab has come, so it has come from mother crab, right? Some source has to be there. Even if it is coming from a stack of grains. So it doesn't mean the stack of grains is the source for that crab. No, the mother earth must be somewhere there. The mother crab must be somewhere there from that crab is coming out. So that's why we should use our intelligence to understand from where the source is, from where do we belong, from where we are coming from, and why we have been given this material body. What is the real purpose of this material body, right? So, okay, can one person read this paragraph? So let this be the last paragraph. We'll continue this chapter tomorrow from the Katha Upanishad. That's already late. So keeping time in mind, we'll continue same time tomorrow. So anyone who wants to join can let us know through Zoom, through YouTube message. So you can come and you can read and you can relish the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. Okay, Aditi, the last paragraph. Can we go with that?
Hare Krishna, the demigods.
Yeah.
The demigods continued to offer their respectful prayers unto the supreme form of the personality of Godhead Krishna by analytical study of the material manifestation. What is the material manifestation? It is just like a tree. A tree stands on the ground. Similarly, the tree of the material manifestation is standing on the ground of material nature. This is material manifestation is compared to a tree because a tree is ultimately cut off in due course of time. A tree is called Vraksha. Vraksha means that thing which will be ultimately cut off. Therefore, this tree of the material manifestation cannot be accepted as the ultimate truth because it is influenced by time. But Krishna's body is eternal. He existed before the material manifestation. He is existing while the material manifestation is continuing, and when it will be dissolved, he will continue to exist. Therefore, only Krishna can be accepted as the absolute truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this we can understand that this material manifestation is like a tree, and this tree has two kinds of fruits, right? It has distress and happiness. So what we do? These this tree had a branch, and on that branch, two birds are sitting. So one bird is eating fruit of his fruitive activities. Sometimes it is tasty, sometimes it is sour, sometimes it is good to eat, sometimes it is nice. But the other bird sitting on that branch is just watching this bird. He is waiting that this bird should look at me and then I can guide him what is good, what is bad, or how to follow the rules and regulations to become successful in life. But the bird eating the fruits is so busy that it doesn't want to listen. So here, Srila Prabhupada says that one bird is the localized aspect of Krishna known as Paramatma, and the other bird is the living entity. One bird is the living entity, we, who are busy eating fruits of our fruitive activities. And because of that, we get bounded in this material world like a roller coaster ride. One time we ride on the roller coaster, we get a human body, then again one full round, then we die, again get another body, then again full round, then get another body. So we should try to stop this continuous moving of roller coaster. See, even if you go to a fair and sit on the roller coaster, one time, two time, it is very nice, right? You enjoy and feel very happy. But then if it goes on, goes on, goes on continuously, you will tell him, oh, okay, stop. It's enough, right? So similarly, we are, as a soul, we are getting transferred from one body to another body continuously just because we are continuously doing some work and getting his good and bad results. But we don't want to listen to Paramatma sitting in our heart, turning towards him and listening to what he wants to tell us. Because we are so busy in our sense gratification, improving our status, improving our marks, improving our performances. We are so busy that we don't want to listen. See, even in this material world, just to cross the road, we have to follow the traffic rules. Correct? If it's a red light, you cannot cross the road. If it's red man, you cannot cross. If it's a green man, then you can go ahead. So simple rule applies in the spiritual world also. There's 4 simple rules which we have to follow. No meat eating, including onion and garlic, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no drinking any alcoholic drinks, including tea and coffee, which makes us become addicted, which makes our mind agitated, which our mind is already agitated, already it keeps on moving, going here, there, for everything we see, everything we hear, all these our five senses, everything we want to taste for our own happiness. But then here Srila Prabhupada explains to her that this Bhagavatam, this Bhagavad Gita, is a mature fruit which gives us the nectar of the song of Godhead, which gives us the nectar of the instructions of the Godhead. If we follow them, being in this material world will can be spiritually elevated. That's why they say this body has 9 gates. Here, Srila Prabhupada explains this body has 9 gates. This one is the 2 eyes, the 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 genital, and 1 rectum. Right? So, with all these 9 gates available to us, we are trying to satisfy our senses. But if we use our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, if we use these in the service of the Lord, by whatever we eat, we first offer to Krishna. Whatever the day we start, we should be grateful to Krishna for a beautiful day. We should be grateful to Krishna for this association of devotees. So Krishna is so merciful that we got this opportunity to sit together and to spend this 1 hour, this precious 1 hour of our lifetime in serving in Krishna by hearing the nectar given to us by our gurus. So that's why Balramji came first. Guru Tattva is more important than Krishna, because, and then Krishna is more important than Guru, because Krishna's mercy only helps us get Guru. And by Guru's mercy only we can hold on to the lotus feet of Krishna. So, dear Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, we'll stop here, and I request everyone on call to have Krishna book, to read Krishna book, so you come prepared the next day. And then this whole month is Krishna is coming on Fridays. Krishna's Janmashtami is there, but don't forget Krishna after Janmashtami. Okay, sing, dance, enjoy in Janmashtami, and then forget Krishna. Don't do that. Just remember Krishna. Keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and keep purifying your heart, so that when Krishna comes and resides in your heart, then the whole year through also that place becomes a pleasant one, and the appearance of Krishna in your heart, the presence of Krishna in your heart makes your heart pleasing to yourself and to everybody around you. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow, same time, and we'll continue with the same chapter. Jai Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Leela Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Krishna ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees of Krishna.